Hello, welcome to Inside the Summit League. Basketball tips off for real this week. All of the men's and the women's teams with a regular season game either Friday or Saturday this weekend, and we'll have some basketball team previews coming up in a little bit. Meanwhile, women's soccer, and the season continues for South Dakota State University. The Jackrabbits will play the University of Minnesota this Friday evening in the first round of the NCAA tournament in what looks like it could be a very good matchup for SDSU. The Gophers are 11-6 overall. They went 6-4 in the Big Ten. They lost 3 of their last 4 matches, and they were eliminated in the first round of the Big Ten tournament. The Gophers played one Summit League team this year. They beat North Dakota State 3-0 way back in August. And that 3-0 score, coincidentally, was the score in the Summit League Tournament Championship match on Saturday between the Bison and the Jackrabbits. Here is the recap of the Women's Soccer Championships. South Dakota State was the host team for the Summit League Women's Soccer Championships, and the Jackrabbits up against Oral Roberts in the opening round on Thursday. Got to go back to 2004 for Oral Roberts' last tournament championship. South Dakota State won it last year, and the Jacks have won it 2 of the last 4 seasons. And SDSU with some early pressure. Annie Williams sails that one just high, though. But in the 42nd minute, Delaney Ratcliffe shaking and faking and taking a shot out in front. And the Jackrabbits on the board, 1-0 South Dakota State at the half. Second half, Brittany Jensen going to work for SDSU. Catches up to it just outside the box, controls and fires, and that is the first goal of the match for the freshman. And it's a 2-0 Jackrabbit lead. 2 minutes later, Eagles trying to clear it out, and they cannot. Jensen is there to pick it off, goes through 5 defenders and cranks it past the keeper. Second goal of the match for the freshman Brittany Jensen. South Dakota State with a 3-0 lead. Oral Roberts gets a late goal, and South Dakota State with a 3-1 win in the first semifinal.
It was really kind of back and forth a little bit. Both teams trying to feel each other out in that first 20 minutes or so. And, you know, we had a couple decent attacks. They had a lot of the ball and kind of in the midfield area. And, you know, that goal by Dell really opened things up for us. They've got a lot of very creative attacking personalities on their team. So I thought our girls worked very hard to track those runners and stifle their opportunities. Yeah, Brittany's really coming into her own right now. And it was great to get that second goal. We really needed that momentum going forward.
So SDSU on to the championship match. South Dakota and North Dakota State in the other semifinal. It's the first time the Coyotes have qualified for the Summer League postseason tournament. North Dakota State was undefeated in the regular season, the number 1 seed. They get an early goal from Lauren Miller, and then Taylor Navala with the equalizer for USD, and ties it at 1 in the first 20 minutes of the match. Plenty of offense on both sides. South Dakota with 13 shots on goal. NDSU, though, has the keeper of the year in Sierra Bonham, and she was busy. 10 saves in the match for Bonham, and it's tied 1-1 going to the half. South Dakota gets a go-ahead goal from Corey Strang in the 70th minute. Coyotes take a 2-1 lead. Bison come back and tie it up. Coyotes go back in front on another goal by Corey Strang. But the Bison tie it up on a goal by Lauren Miller in the 89th minute, and then Brittany Montian, the newcomer of the year in the Summit League, with a game winner in double overtime. North Dakota State moves on with a 4-3 victory over South Dakota.
I don't think I've ever been more proud of a team and how we played today. I mean, you should be playing your best soccer come conference tournament time, and this was our best game we've had all season. I thought we connected well. We created a lot of opportunities. We scored 3, great goals off of opportunities we created. I mean, it sucks how we lost, but we went down fighting, and we made North Dakota State play their best game to beat us.
So North Dakota State advancing to take on South Dakota State on Saturday in the tournament championship. They played each other just 3 weeks ago on this field and played to a scoreless draw in that one. And the Jackrabbits, they'll get on the board in this one in the 17th minute. Madison Ewell throwing it in from way out. Danny Patterson waiting with some fabulous footwork, and South Dakota State out to a 1-0 lead. Jacks do it again just before the half. Diana Potterville had been dragged down in the box. She scores on the penalty kick. South Dakota State a 2-0 lead at the break. And the Jacks and Potterveld get one more in the 69th minute. Potterveld hanging out in front off a deflected shot. She picks it up, spins, puts it away. Her second goal of the match. South Dakota State up 3-0, getting late in this one. Bison with some chances, though, after that. In the 73rd minute, Lauren Miller, Summit League Offensive Player of the Year with a bullet from the left side. Knocked aside, though, by Nicole Inskeep. And then Miller, again a moment later, trying to keep pounding away, but denied again. Inskeep gets the shutout. South Dakota State gets the tournament title. The Jackrabbits are back-to-back Summit League tournament champions.
Well, winning is unbelievable, especially winning a championship, winning it on your home field in front of your fans. And so that feeling of elation is tremendous. We knew North Dakota State was going to be a tough game. We knew they have some really special players, and we wanted to find a way to stifle that from their attack, but also be able to still play our game and have our personality shine. So it was a little combination of the both. It's all about peaking at the right time. I felt like both seasons we've been inconsistent for periods of time, but we're able to really pull it together and make a good run in the conference tournament 2 years in a row, and really that's what it's about.
Well, the men's soccer championships are coming up this weekend. Denver is the #1 seed, and Denver dominates the postseason awards this year. We will check out the Players of the Year coming up.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort, Dakota Land Honda, and South Dakota Corn. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Welcome back. Now to men's soccer, and the Summit League Championship Tournament is set to start this Thursday in Denver. The Pioneers will be the #1 seed, and it has been an incredible season thus far for the DU men. They are 13-0-3 overall. They went 5-0-1 in the Summit League, and Denver finishes the regular season unbeaten for the first time in the program's Division I history, and they are the only undefeated team in Division I this season. And it's been a great year for Omaha as well. The Mavericks make the Summit League tournament in their first year of eligibility. They will be the 2nd seed. Omaha taking on Oral Roberts on Thursday in the first round. Omaha beat ORU 2-1 in Omaha during the regular season. And then Denver and Western Illinois in the second semifinal. They played more than a month ago in Macomb. Denver won that one 2-0. They have played in the tournament championship, Denver and Western Illinois, in the last 2 years, with Denver winning both times. So a superb season collectively and individually for Denver. The Summer League postseason awards were announced today. The Pioneers almost get the sweep. They have the Keeper of the Year in Dan Jackson. He led the league in save percentage and goals against. Denver has the Defensive Player of the Year in Reagan Dunk. He anchored that back line for Denver, and he led the league in assists. Denver has the Newcomer of the Year in Andre Shinyashiki. Freshman from Brazil, scored 5 goals, and he was 2nd in the league in total shots taken this year. Denver has the Coach of the Year in Jamie Franks. Moved up from assistant to head coach this season, and he has his squad going after another Summit League tournament championship. And the Offensive Player of the Year, Drew Whalen at Western Illinois. The junior led the league in goals and in points, and he and the Leathernecks get another shot at Denver this Thursday in the opening round of the Summit League tournament. Well, coming up next, volleyball. We get to the final week of the regular season. Omaha stays hot. Denver stays on top. We'll check it out next.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort, Dakota Land Honda, and South Dakota Corn. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Now to volleyball, and 2 years ago, the NCAA allowed the Summit League to expand the field for the Summit League tournament, so instead of 4 qualifiers, there are now 6. And we know who the 6 teams are going to be this year, we just don't know what the seeds are going to be and who is going to be playing who. In the meantime, Omaha stays hot. The Mavericks have won 6 matches in a row. Denver is still in first place. The Pioneers have won their last 4, and here is the week that was in volleyball. North Dakota State is holding steady at number 5 in the league standings. The Bison with 2 wins over the weekend. NDSU at home against Fort Wayne on Friday. Jenny Fassbender rising up on the outside. She had 10 kills, hit it .400 for the match. Emily Myron in the middle. She had 14 kills and hit it .440. Bison hit .330 as a team, and they take out Fort Wayne in 3 sets. And then North Dakota State taking down IUPUI, one of the league leaders, on Sunday in the final home match for Jenny Fassbender, the only senior on the North Dakota State squad this year. Close in all 3 sets in this one, but the Bison win them all. Brianna Rasmussen had 4 kills, 24 assists, and 10 digs. And more efficient and opportunistic offense for the Bison. Jessica Jorgensen off a scramble, pokes that across. She had 12 kills and 15 attacks. And North Dakota State gets the weekend sweep, 3-0 in this one over IUPUI. So North Dakota State in 5th place right now. South Dakota is in 6th. The Coyotes with a home victory over South Dakota State on Sunday. USD setter Brittany Jessen with 7 kills and 45 assists in 4 sets. And South Dakota State wins the first set here, but the Coyotes take the next 3. Haley Dotseth leads USD with 13 kills and 17 digs. Audrey Rieg with 11 kills. She is top 5 in the league right now. And South Dakota beats South Dakota State 3-1. And back to Friday, IUPUI at Denver. And the first place Pioneers trying to create a little space between themselves and the rest of the field. They grind out a 3-set win over the Jaguars. Ruth Okoye on the slide for Denver, 8 kills for her. And tight in the first set, but Denver wins 25-23. Pioneers go on to win in straight sets. Denver is 12-3 in the league. They have just 1 regular season match left, and that is at Oral Roberts this Friday. And here are your Summit League players of the week in volleyball. Sarah Schmid at Denver. She has been the defensive player of the week twice this year, but she is the offensive player of the week this week. 37 kills in 3 matches, which is not all that eye-popping, but her hitting percentage was unbelievable. 642 over that 3-game stretch. She hit 706 against South Dakota, 600 against IUPUI, and then 625 against Fort Wayne. And not like she was just standing around watching. Schmidt had 53 total attacks and just 3 errors in those 3 matches. And yes, she leads the league in hitting percentage for the season at .436. The Defensive Player of the Week, again, is Kimberly Bailey at Omaha. 2nd week in a row for her. She had 22 digs in 3 sets against South Dakota State. That is the 4th best in a 3-set match in the Summit League so far this season. And after those 2 big weeks, Bailey has moved up to 4th in the league in total digs this season. And she and Omaha finish up the regular season this weekend at Fort Wayne on Friday and then at IUPUI on Saturday. Basketball coming up next. We will check in on Fort Wayne, see what the Dons are doing this year, and in Vermilion, how will South Dakota be this season in men's basketball? We've got that coming when we come back.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort, Dakota Land Honda, and South Dakota Corn. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Hey, it's hoop season. Summit League basketball teams get it going in the regular season this weekend after some exhibition games. Fort Wayne will play at Valparaiso on Friday night to open the season. The Dons got a little tune-up in last week against Otterbein University. They are a Division III school in Ohio. Mo Evans is back for Fort Wayne this year. He made every shot he took in this game. 6 for 6 from the field, 4 of 4 on threes, 3 of 3 at the free throw line, 19 points for Mo Evans. Brent Calhoun is the Fort Wayne starting center. Big man had 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 block shots. Michael Calder with 14 points off the bench, and the Dons put a spanking on Otterbein in this one, 99-55. Well, Oral Roberts is picked to finish 3rd in the league this year behind South Dakota State and North Dakota State. ORU has Obi Amegano back for his senior season. He had 17 in a win over Central Oklahoma over the weekend. And Amegano will be the only senior starter for the Eagles, who will have a couple of good freshmen in Daquan Jeffries and Javen White.
Has impressed me the most I would have to go with Javen White. Unexpected. I expected him to come in and do some things, but I think that he's been playing great. He's been playing with great energy. He has a tremendous upside, great attitude. He's somebody that a guy like me would love to play with.
I think my role is to be a leader. I mean, even as a freshman, just help the guys in practice, whatnot, be a positive player out there on the court, and help push my teammates in practice.
Daquan Jeffries from Edmond is going to play a lot, has a chance to start. Javen White from Ames has a chance to start, and you throw in Chris Crawford and Chris Martin, two guards that very, very talented. Chris Crawford physically on the defensive end has a chance to help you this year, and Chris Martin, 6'4" guard that has great shooting range.
I think it's just basic principles: playing hard, defending, rebounding. I think that mental toughness is always key. So, we have a lot of young guys, and with that, I think that it's important for them to understand that everything's not always going to be great. They're not always going to play great, but for them to be mentally tough and get through those lulls, those down periods, I think that's going to be very important.
I mean, Obi's he's a great player. I mean, he's always working on their game, and that's one thing I like about this team a lot. Everybody wants to be a good player, but are you willing to put in the work? And I think as a group, this is probably one of the best groups we've had as far as guys working on their own to get better. So, a guy like Obi certainly has improved his game.
Oral Roberts will open the season at home against Missouri State on Friday. That game's on ESPN3, by the way. South Dakota will open up Friday night as well. The Coyotes are taking on Wright State University in the first game of a 3-day tournament at Northern Illinois. USD is picked to finish 5th in the league this year. They do have 2 starters back in Casey Kasperbauer and Trey Burnett, and they also have their 6th man in Trey Norris. But the Yotes will still be a bit of a mystery in their second season under head coach Craig Smith.
We're excited for the year like everybody is right now. It's a great group to coach. A lot of new faces. We have 7 new faces in our program, 10 total that never saw the floor last year with 3 other guys redshirting. So we have high expectation for our guys. We have high expectations for our program, and we're chomping at the bit to get started.
I think the biggest thing is that we lose over half of our scoring. So that means that A, we got to have other guys step up in the scoring column, and then B, we got to be that much better on defense.
Everybody brings something to the table. We got Casey, he's a great leader, talks a lot. Trey Norris, he's a floor general. We got Dua Mayotte, he's just a hard worker. He does all the little things to make us good. E-Rob, Eric Robertson, he's a great piece to the puzzle. He got a good mid-range game. He always keeps us together. And everybody, all of us, all 5 of us are just leaders. We all bring it every day.
We have some new guys that are going to help, but we got to really look within. Trey Burnett has great game experience last year. Casey Kasperbauer, Eric Robertson, those 3 guys really got to step up their game, and then our new guys will fill in the pieces around them. I love our freshman class, Dan Jeck, Tyler Hagedorn, and Tyler Borchers. I think those guys will make an impact early on. Shai McClellan is going to be a guard that's going to have to play major minutes for us, and he's really a versatile guy that can play a lot of different positions. DJ Davis, is a returning guy who saw a decent amount of playing time, and then it kind of dwindled late in the year, but he's shown significant improvement in his game. And so there's a lot of different guys and new guys that are going to have to step up to the plate.
Well, the South Dakota women have a Summer League tournament title and a runner-up in the last 2 seasons, and they are going to be good again this year. We will see what the Yotes have going on when we come back.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort, Dakota Land Honda, and South Dakota Corn. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Welcome back. Women's basketball season gets real this weekend. All 9 Summit League squads will be in action either Friday or Saturday. The University of South Dakota will open the season at Utah on Friday night. Now, the Coyotes won 26 games last year. They were 15-0 at home. They have 7 of their top 9 players coming back this year, and they could roll out 5 seniors in the starting lineup if they wanted to. USD is going to be good. Here's more with the Coyotes.
We have 5 very special seniors in this class, and they've been just superb leaders up to this point. I think they've all played major roles for our team in their careers, and we're expecting the same thing in their senior year.
You know, our first game, that's going to be exciting, and we have a pretty tough preseason, I guess, before we start the Summit play. So, I mean, each and every game is pretty important. I know we have some pretty big home games, so hopefully we can get those wins.
And I think our goals are just, improving off of last year, making it, to the Summit League tournament championship game again, and then trying to advance to that NCAA tournament. So obviously we made it 2 years ago, and we've come close last year. So I think this year's goal is to win it and go there again and try to, advance after the first round.
Well, I'm really excited about this upcoming season. We feel like, we've got a lot of excitement around our team. And also just with some of the new rule changes, there's kind of an excitement to see what's going to come. And also just some really exciting things with, bringing some teams like Washington, NCAA tournament team from a year ago into the Dome, and some very exciting things for our fan base as well.
So lots of hoop highlights coming up next week as everybody gets going. Men's soccer championships in Denver this weekend, and we'll see you next week on Inside the Summit League.